not to self-crack nearly as much as I used to. But look, I mean,
That's a fun part of the trick.
everything is super crunchy in me, you know.
Can you repeat that over and over again, though?
Yeah. It just,
I mean, the hands, will that do?
Yeah.
I got your head. Relax here, relax there. There you go.
Oh my God. Wow. I think this is good.
That hurt me.
It does it all day.
It looks like handshakes. That little surface glides over that surface. If you can see that, right? So when I think of it, the best is a handshake. So when we're overlapping, we have a lot of power and there's a lot of strength. But if I start to separate, we're gonna have to use more muscles to hold on to each other. Do you understand? Because our surface area contact has lessened. Right, and there's a belly flash, everybody. And kind of pump it. Looks like those 80s workout videos, you know. And 1, and a 2, and 3.
Feels like these muscles are constantly tense.
Okay.
I've had an x-ray done before, and I have what they call that military neck, like no cervical bend.
Okay.
Again, nothing, I don't think I have anything wrong.
Okay.
There's a little bit of, I guess you'd call it scoliosis.
Yes.
It
On the
bends
right side.
this way just a little
A little bit
bit.
on the right there. Okay. All right. And your work is how long you been working as a bartender, or you know?
On and off, it's like the side hustle thing
Okay.
forever.
Okay.
And it's just
Everything's-
a weird body motion
Yeah.
for hours and hours and hours.
All right. And you were gymnastics for how many years when you were?
17 years.
Okay. So
Like
give me
pretty hardcore.
just a vault everything.
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah, and falling on your head and falling off the bars and the beam and the vault. So,
How many times have you fallen? I mean,
yeah, oh God, I don't know. But no major injuries until later in life when I said, oh, I can still do a back handspring. Look at me now. And I ruptured my Achilles tendon.
Okay. That was when?
This was a decade ago now.
Okay.
And I did the physical therapy. I covered it with the scar with the tattoo.
Right.
But I still am very aware that this
Okay.
happened. And I think I compensate for it still.
So we're dealing with a little bit, about 1 inch heads forward from your shoulder. Again, that's going to create that tension in your middle back here. All right. Let's see. Hips are pretty level. I mean, maybe a minutely left hip is a little bit high, but not really.
You know what, though, my natural stance when I'm just engaging people,
yeah.
like I do the things, right?
prefer standing on-
yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I put all the weight, I do put the thing a lot, I don't know why.
Yeah.
So-
So under. Bend both the knees for me. All right. Take one deep breath in for me. We'll sit up. We'll go easy here. Here we go. Exhale. All right, deep breath in. Here we go. Exhale for me. Let all the air out. All right, deep breath in for me. One more. Let it go. All right, good. Stay there. You're good. Yeah. All right, let's go on your side facing me. And we'll check out that Achilles. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that was not fun. I wouldn't wish that on my worst
Wow.
enemy.
Oh, man. All right, hands on your belly. Perfect. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Other side for me. Beautiful. Let's go face that for me again. There we go. You know, every injury you've had like gymnastically, it's not even so much as what the injury did, it's what the compensation from the injury. Your
Yes.
body expected you to fall again.
I've always thought that my atlas
Huge
up here,
bone on the
yes,
right. Yes,
oh
huge.
my gosh.
No, it's huge.
Constant.
Right side is a huge lump here on the right.
It's like a rock
No, it's
in
a-
there.
It's a Frankenstein bolt, but I'm
Yes.
seeing where the top guy is here. Yeah, we got a huge.
It's been there my
Coat-
entire life. Like, I've got a wonderful boyfriend. He digs in there all the time for me.
We're gonna work on that in a second, but yeah. Let's see how it moves cold here. I'm gonna go easy. Here we go. I got you. Easy, easy. Yeah, a little tight there. We'll go deeper in a second. Round one. It's like one of those undercover boss episodes. You know, I'm just walking into the place of employment, seeing who's doing before I put my uniform on, and right, who's actually working here. Relax. Okay, yeah, a little tight. Yeah, way too tight at the top there.
Always. All day, every day. It has been this hard since I was a child. I got one of those electric cupping devices.
Yeah.
And trying to pull this trap muscle away and tear it up.
Yeah.
It's not loosening.
Yeah, the vertebral motion is what essentially drains the lymphatics that drain your lungs. When we have injuries, it's easy for vertebrae to think that the injury is going to happen again, and so you just incrementally lose little bits of your spinal motion. If you feel an area is out or tight, I go, it's because there's a reason. It's not like the muscles decided to annoy you and get tight. And we can clean them, but it's like having somebody walking around your house with muddy shoes and we're sweeping up after them. It's like, this is not going to go away.
Yeah.
We have to get rid of the tracking in the dirty shoes that's bringing in the problem. And, the muscles are like the dirt on the ground. And we keep sweeping, but if we don't take the shoes off the front door, we're not going to get anywhere here. So that's the postural kind of source that we need to work on. Right there, yeah. So the muscle fibers and the ligament fibers when we're born are all lined up and organized. And then when we get injured, they heal in like a ball, of yarn.
Yeah.
And that's really what this is. What are you rubbing, Dr. Red? There are connective tissue that is not organized like it was originally. It was injured and then it healed, a knot, and maybe it's been worked on, it's been untangled a little bit, but they're kind of like dents on our car door that maybe they've been pulled, but you can still see some of the evidence of an injury.
There's some of those pebbles in there that I'm like, is this a muscle node or is this like a lymph node? Am I doing more damage, like getting in there?
You're not doing
know what
any
I mean?
You're not doing any damage. Some of them, I'm trying to see if I can feel it.
I feel like they're right here.
Okay, let me see.
There's like, what
Some
is
pebbles in
that?
there?
Yes.
Give me a second. I think this is all muscular. If I had to quantify this, I don't believe that to be a lymphatic knot. That's a muscular, head forward, just injuries coupled. These are not, so no. Yeah. Yeah, these are the roots of your neck also. So these are just like I said, these are the tree roots that lift up because the head's going forward. And we can try to push the tree roots down, but if we don't get the tree up right, we just keep on lifting the...
That's funny because this is usually the tighter side and this is more tender.
Oh my, okay. Oh. Yeah, okay, all right, easy. There we go. All right. Yeah, definitely not as big a knot there, but this right side, 100%.
And I feel like you could stab that with a knife and I wouldn't hardly feel it.
Oh, we got to get in there.
It's just a knot. And I'm guilty of the phone.
I get
I'm
you.
guilty.
I know we're all exactly.
Guilty. But I try to be
good. That's the first
aware.
step. The first step is awareness and not feeding the monster as much as we can. But we also,
This new restaurant opened up a couple months ago and I've been there a lot. And you just can't be in an odd body.
Right. Well, when you're working, you're trying to do your job. It's hard to do your job and be constantly conscious of your posture. So you kind of just have to do what you have to do and then pay for your sins at the end of the day. It's more about not cooking food. It's about whether or not you cleaned up at the end of the day. Did you actually tidy up your bar before you left, right?
Okay.
It wasn't that you made all these drinks and made this mess. It was the fact that you didn't clean up. You understand? I wouldn't mind you making all the drinks, but you got to wipe down the countertops when you're done.
Yeah.
You can't leave it a mess. And so all too often it's like we do all these things and then at the end of the day we're like, I'm just going to collapse on the couch here. And
right,
we
I'm
didn't,
not stretching out
we didn't put the spine back to its home position, and that was a bigger long-term effect than even the activity you did at the bar, whatever, or...
And I try not to self-crack nearly as much as I used to. But look, I'm...
That's a fun part.
Everything is super crunchy in me,
Can you repeat that over and over again, though?
Yeah.
The hands, will that do?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
it just does.
I understand. That's the tendons. That's not the joints. The air bubbles, you can't repetitively...
I don't know.
But if you can do that over
crazy.
and over...
Sorry.
No,
Hang on. Put yourself near the mic.
I did that in front of Brenda and her daughter, and they both were like, ah. Have you heard of EDS?
So that was the joint. That was the joint there that just moved. Hold on one second. So that's the joint. See how it won't do it again? When you pop a joint, there's air bubbles, right, in the joint capsule. And now, see, I can't go back and do it again.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
It's already now.
So what is? They're just little tendons rubbing?
You got some tendon laxity there.
So EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Correct.
I've not been tested, but I have a feeling my family's on the spectrum.
Correct.
My dad has had his retina
That's the
tear.
joint.
I ruptured my Achilles. I think my tendons are really gummy.
You know, it's like taking a cable and running it over a. You know, you can make it snap over something. And that's your actual joint. These are the knuckles.
I don't think I've ever popped my fingers like that, just pulling them out like that.
That's just the knuckles there, and those all feel good. But see, watch, I'll get all the air bubbles out of your joints, and you're still going to be able to. Yeah. Check this wrist. All right, go ahead and check it. Try it.
Like that?
Yeah, these are tendons that you're.
They're crunchy.
I mean,
That's just
I don't think you're. Like I said, I wouldn't do it if you can.
Try.
But it's probably not hurting anything unless you repetitively did it so much that the tendons would actually start to get inflamed. Tendonitis, stuff like that would happen. Okie dokie, guys. Wow. All right, I got you. Really easy. We get a little deeper here. There you go. Relax right here on this left side. There it is. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That was tight.
Whew.
Yeah.
Need a moment, you okay?
That was good. I feel like there's, blood flowing there for the first time ever.
I got your head. Relax here. Relax there. There you go.
Oh my god. Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
Let me have you sit for a moment. Old injury. You can see it right now. It's starting to come out. If you're an employee or whatever. What is that? just give him my card.
All good.
All right, fair enough.
I'm just so attentive to my right neck muscles and traps. I'm on it all day. I massage, I have the cane, and it just won't let up.
Correct. We have to. The counter stretching has to be done. You've got everything pretty supple and clean. You're just ready for molding. You're ready for the next. What I call the second phase of care, which is it's like the first phase is demolition phase. You got to get everything moving, right? And the next phase is remodeling and actually stretching and bringing you back to where you belonged. Going back to one of the first things you said, I have a military neck head. Okay, well that has to be fixed.
That's not cool.
Right.
I also often throughout the day will elevate my right scapula, pull it back, and then when I press it down, it'll crack these little rib heads.
All right.
I feel lucky that my middle and lower back is not ever in a lot of pain. I don't have, it's not super tender.
That's a miracle. Everything you've been through, right?
It's all just up here. And those cracks you just got, oh my God, I'm saved.
Would you let, if you have, you don't have any kids? No kids?
No kids.
One day, would you let them do all the gymnastics?
I would say yes.
Yes.
I thought it was a wonderful thing to do.
Your siblings, anybody else in your family?
My sister was a little dancer. She was good at it. It made me, I'm like not bad at anything. I'm not a master of anything, but I'm not terrible at things. Like I can golf a little bit. I can bowl. I'm like just aware, I guess, of my body.
Trades, okay. Huh?
It makes you get on the soccer team. You get on, because you can do the things. But you stay limber. I mean, my muscle memory is still there.
I was on the swim team.
Nice.
So Kyra kids. My sister and I were both swam for 7 years.
Very different sport on the joints.
Swimming laps is what I did at that age. Nobody's allowed to quit early. Everybody's got to stay till the bar closes. Nobody's, can I get out early? I'm going to dip out. No. Everybody stays.
It's a beautiful restaurant. You guys need to come.
What's it
in.
called?
It's called Neat, like whiskey neat.
Okay.
Where is it?
It is the old Pub 32,
Okay.
like south of the Dead Mall,
I got you.
behind Jalisco in the First Watch Plaza.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yes, I got you. I know what
It's
you're talking
beautiful. The same owner as the Italian Grill.
about. I know what you're talking about. Yes, okay.
And we have
The Dead Mall, exactly.
I'm
Oh,
so.
my.
I mean, I heard it's gonna be turned into something fabulous, but
Wow. Yeah, these are just the roots of your neck here. We gotta just angle these down, and like I said, show you at the end how to change your posture so that there's not just the tension's right back after you leave here. You'll just very disconcerting and very kind of depressing that if we don't change the alignment, like orthodontistry, the bite doesn't change, and you don't
Yeah.
stop the stresses on the whatever's being stressed out.
that is the best sensation in the world.
Mm.
I'm always like,
Get it.
get the rubber bands in there. Oh, that's tender.
You could be the cash. I'll be the rubber band. You could be the cash. I'll be the rubber band.
Oh my gosh.
Find any old things you buried in here.
I know. Oh my God.
I didn't know that existed until you touched it. I know. It's my job.
I feel like those ribs on the side like flare up. Like they don't stay grounded as much.
When you breathe in, the ribs rise up, and then when you exhale, it's supposed to shut, go back down.
I
Kind of
feel like it shuts
right.
on that side.
They stay open, right? They stay open, and it's kind of like how when we get injured, there's supposed to be an auto shutting, like a drawer. You should just let go of the drawer and it automatically closes, but that ligament's been torn, and so it stays open, and then the stability goes down because it was stable when the drawer was shut, and then opening it destabilizes it. Again, we're going to show you how to stretch at the end. It's just we have to start holding these ribs down and stretching. Right there.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
yeah.
Gosh. Oh my God. My back's not tender. Yeah, right. Okay. Oh my God.
I've never been able to hide anything from my car mechanic. When he puts my car on a lift, I'm like, no, the car's doing fine. What's this yellow paint you have underneath your car? Oh, you hit a curb, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hit a curb. Well, this car didn't come with yellow paint on the bottom side of it. Oh, that curb. Oh, yeah, I did hit that curb, didn't I? I didn't think you were going to notice that. Well, you damaged your oil pan.
That's a good analogy. That's good.
Couldn't see it when it was on the ground. Yeah, right there. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. There. Now, how often when you were doing like gymnastics full time, what was the kind of care that you received during those years? Was it
None of it.
non-existent? Just not.
Non-existent.
So you kind of just walk it off, kid, and
Yeah.
you land awkwardly, and they're just like, she's not bleeding, no bones are sticking through her skin, so.
We did not have a team masseuse or
Okay.
chiropractor. I mean, coach or like even my fabulous dad, he would dig in there sometimes.
Okay,
But not a licensed.
gotcha. It was just kind of. Did you? I mean, like after a long, did you ever ice much? Did they tell you
Yes,
they did ice?
absolutely.
Okay. So you did ice
and
things.
heating pads and
Uh-huh.
just going back to it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
lots of strength training, lots of conditioning.
Uh-huh.
Doing it again tomorrow. Is it bruising up?
A little bit right here, yeah, for sure. And your rhomboids and in between your shoulder blades. Somebody didn't take their shoes off the front door. And it's tracked in some mud.
Oh, I can hear that vibration in my ear. Oh my God.
Yeah, that'd be a party trick. You pop like one of the tendons up here. You're like, I can move my ear and pop the.
Those upper neck cracks were easily the deepest
Oh, cool.
I've ever received. I don't know if one of those bones has ever moved like that. I feel like I missed a calling. I feel like I should have been a chiropractor.
A lot of fun.
I love it.
Change people's lives.
Yeah.
It's really and just allowing each person's body to kind of go back to its own health and restore itself, and really shouldn't need much of anything on the outside. It should be autonomous. We call it auto, self, no me law, self-ruling, self-governing. You know, it's the complexity of the human body, and then when we have inflammation alongside of it, all the effects of that. But I'm not trying to like tell your body what to do. It's more about unlocking it so it can just do its own thing to restore its own functionality.
I do have a recurring crack when I suppress this hip and tilt forward. It goes right here.
Yeah, it's definitely. If you think that can repetitively happen, like your hands.
Yeah.
So that's again the tendons. These are a lot of attachments here on the iliac crest. Again, what I don't want is the most valuable vertebrae are these last two in your lower back. So here and here, where all surgery happened. And so my concern is we don't want to be, inflaming the area around this area or popping. When you do that, if we're popping this vertebrae, that would be the only thing that would be long-term concerning.
Okay.
Two ways that I think I can help you. One, if we can bring your spine back to the right alignment, you won't feel the need to do that. Part of your desire to do that is to release tension that you feel. What's causing the tension? The loss of curve in your lower back, the loss of curve in your neck. You understand? The alignment is wrong, creating the tension. And then as we bring you back to the right position, your ability to even pop it yourself will go down, meaning it's harder to isolate one area if your whole spine's working and if it's in the right alignment. So that would be kind of the journey that I would hope that we could get on is through stretching and changing your alignment. You won't feel that need to do that. It's part of the reason why you're desiring to pop that is because of this lock up here. This area is stiffer, and you don't notice it. You only notice the effects, the parts that are doing extra. But if we can restore some function to your middle back, take the stress off the lower back, you won't feel that desire.
I forget the anatomical term. What's this thing right here?
Infraspinatus, your
Oh
scapula,
my
your scapula.
God, that is a tender spot. Oh my God. My boyfriend will grab it sometimes like that.
Rotator cuff.
Ooh.
Oh no, no. Call this cheater spot sometimes.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that is tender. Oh my God. Shoots all the way down to your pinkies.
Again, these are muscles that you're using probably more often when you're, like I said, you're lifting objects, making a drink, whatever. These are. As we bring the shoulder back, and we're two birds, one stone when we're stretching, we're trying to bring your shoulder back. As we retract the shoulder, the tension that stays in here will reduce. That partly why this tension stays here or rebuilds up quickly is the alignment of your shoulder being forward. So we have to try to draw the shoulder back.
All back. Oh my God.
Yeah, right there.
Oh my gosh. And it's like a newly discovered area. I didn't realize it was such a, oh my God. Ooh.
Some deltoid here. Oh yeah. All right. Easy. All right.
It's all good. No pain, no gain. Oh my God. What is that? Why?
Why me?
Oh.
You're doing I'm saying when you're working a shift, if your shoulder starts to hurt, you can't go, I'm gonna leave, guys, bye-bye. You have to push through it, right?
Through it, yeah.
That's called abuse. When your body tells you to stop and you have to tell your body, shut up, and I got 50 more things to do. So your body's like, okay, fine, I'll get you tomorrow.
The bartending thing, it's been on and off my whole life. And I always thought, this is a great trade because I'm on my feet, I'm moving, I'm staying skinny. But now, at almost 40, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I want to sit down.
Right.
Oh my God.
All right. Relax your shoulders, relax your back. I got you. Breathe in, exhale. There you go. Here we go. Beautiful. 1 second. Breathe. Let it go. Here we go. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That was amazing for me.
That was fabulous.
What did that feel like?
Oh my God.
Oh.
I need a nap. Oh man, thank you so much. Oh gosh.
Yeah, right there. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna need some care on these. I don't know, whatever you can handle, but you definitely see how smooth it is over here.
Yeah.
It's nice and smooth, and this is all that. Not smooth.
It's a hard spot on your own body to
Oh, I know,
massage.
it
It's hard
is.
to get down there.
Sure. All right there.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Wow.
To me, it's more about working out the old stuff so that the body can bring in new stuff and turn over the tissue, right? So the tissue's supposed to turn over, but when you have an injury, kind of the roads that path into those areas get damaged. So your body's ability to remodel and care for these areas gets diminished until you can, somebody's got to go in here and repave.
Yeah, it is. It's like a block. That anterior tibialis area was
yes, for sure.
huge when I was a gymnast.
This is
I would
the shit.
take pizza roll, dough roller. Just
Doubt it.
oh. Ooh.
Come on. See how smooth it is there, and right there is where that's where ground zero was.
So you guys, this is so funny.
Right
See this knuckle?
there.
Okay, I chipped this little bone
Uh-huh.
on a rope swing. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I go to the same orthopedic surgeon,
Uh-huh.
and he goes, "We might want to consider a lifestyle change." Oh my God.
You were hiding that one.
He's taking my toes.
You were hiding that one from me.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I don't think my toes ever popped like that.
Uh-huh. Come on. Uh-huh. You busted this one.
Oh yeah.
It's been busted.
I can't even tell you. I don't even know how many times I've broken these toes. Grabbing the beam,
Yeah.
trying not to fall.
Sure. I mean, just torquing them and. Uh-huh. Touch it. Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, there it is. Good.
That's okay. I just
I
was
got
like
you.
ticklish.
No tickle. All right. Tilt your head to the right for me a little bit. Tilt. Good.
You're live.
Wasn't that bad?
We made it. We made it.
Okay. All right, I got you. Go ahead and tilt to the right. Tilt right.
Oh, that is so weird.
I heard that
Oh
one.
my gosh. First time for everything
Okay.
today.
I got you. Tilt left for me. No,
Oh.
right. Good. There we go. Let's go easy. Tilt left. Tilt left.
Oh my God. That was intense. That was awesome.
There we go. Okay, now press back with your elbow. There you go, yeah. Michelle, put your earrings over here for me. Okay. All right, press back. There you go, yeah. That was double crunch.
It's so crunchy.
Just for like kind of 1 month, kind of like a drawer. One side of the drawer is more in, so we want to get pressure on the more open side to get the drawer level, and then we move the drawer shut together evenly on both sides.
It's so hard up here that I was like, is that actually a muscle knot or is it my bone?
The bone is pushing the muscle up. Yeah, correct. The vertebrae is out of position, and the muscles are being elevated along with that. But to change it, we have to get the curve back in your neck, change the position of the bones. So it's kind of just passive. You just kind of just taking a nap. You just relax, let the weight of your head mold to the device. The device is asking your neck to be in the curved position. It doesn't require any, active muscular exercise. It's really just passive, letting your head sink into it, taking a nap, going to bed. The idea that this is to do it before you go to bed also, kind of the end of the day, like cleaning up your kitchen before you go home, or bar, whatever. My point is that you want to put your spine in the best position and then go to bed. And I find that the more that your spine is in the right position, the cleaner it is, the more you could potentially lay on your back and sleep. Now, there's enough bruises, I'll take a picture of your back in a second, but there's enough bruises on your back to justify your desire to...
Yeah, I just cannot sleep like this. I just always... And on my stomach.
Bad girl. Yeah, we want to...
I'll try.
It's okay. Well, I'd rather take the side than the stomach. I'll take the side, but the stomach is just... The main thing is we're not allowed to have our head turned more than 45 degrees. So the difficulty with the stomach is that all too often we'll have our head... So when there's a curve in your neck in a neutral position, even in a normal spine, when you turn your neck past 45 degrees, there's no chance of there being curve. So if you sleep with your head turned all the way to the side, you're stretching the curve out of your neck. Make sense? You're holding it straight. So you're undoing essentially the work of restoring the curve, and you're making it straight, or if anything, kyphotic, going the other way. Yeah. You want to angle it right on that spot, and then the goal is 20 minutes. Now, feet together, knees together, bring your knees left, rotate your knees, stretch. Good, exhale. Good, then knees right, about 5-10 seconds, and you're just trying to loosen up that area. Kind of like a drawer. Sometimes you got to give a little bit of a shake to get the drawer to slide in. So you keep the knees in the middle now. Just relax there, or you can keep doing knees side to side. But
it feels like it's like pushing those ribs, right in the diaphragm.
That's
I can't talk.
That's where you need it. Yep.
This feels good.
The only way to get rid of it is for the inflammation not to be there. By getting your middle back moving and by getting the curve back in your spine, there won't be that itch. Very good. Yeah. To pop your lower back.
And then I do this a lot too. I think this is good.
That hurt me.
It does it all day, every day.
Now, is that repetitive also? Can you? Not
No,
that I want you to do it again.
I would have to go like this again for another few minutes.
So that's a joint. Okay. So, okay. All right. Please don't do that again. But I was just curious if that's repetitive, like your hands, where you can keep doing it.
Not quite.
So you can make a sound of a joint. A joint will make a sound when you close the door. It's like a door. You can make a sound fully opening a door as it hits the doorstop, and then it makes a sound when you close the door. At both ends, the joints will make a sound. That's opening it. And that many chiropractors will pop people opening the joints. Now it feels better because the joints are loaded with pain fibers. You understand? So this is why 80-year-olds are all, do you understand? Because it feels good. They don't do it because they think it looks cool. You understand? They're doing it because it feels better. And so when you feel that, Ed, there's inflammation in my joints, I just feel the desire to, there we go. The difficulty is that these discs have no feeling, and the more you do that over time, we're going to be grinding the enamel kind of idea. The disc represents like a amount of tread. And I'm 39, you're 37, there's only so many rotations we can get on these discs. And it's like a tire on our car. We don't notice it until we have low tread. Right? Yeah. And no one cares until there's low tread except for me and a few other guys. And so how do we maintain the health of our spine before it's gone? And doing it one time isn't going to hurt her, but doing it over and over again the bones will grow. Like if you work a muscle out, it gets bigger. If you keep popping that joint, the joint will grow into a bone spur.
I super appreciate it. Thank you so much. That was
Very good. All right,
fantastic.
beautiful.
You did
I will be drinking a lot of water
All right.
today.
All right. Thanks for dropping in. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the main issue that I have is my upper right, like this area right here is always tight. Anytime I sit at the computer or read, which I do both of those a lot, or drive,
Yeah.
it gets aggravated. And if I try to have good posture, like right now I'm trying to.
Sure.
It actually is very much of a strain on my back to do that.
Does it ever burn in there? Does it kind of get... Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually it's just kind of like a mid-level aggravation, but there are times where it does get triggered and it's more.
Okay.
And also my neck. My upper, like really high in my neck, is always really tight.
With that scoliosis, the muscles are going to be working extra hard
Mhm.
because the bones aren't in the right place. And, it's a kind of a long explanation for what causes scoliosis, because it sounds like a structural scoliosis. It's been there since you were a kid.
Mhm.
These are essentially your spinal column. As you were growing, the spinal column was longer than the spinal cord inside. And so the spinal column has to kind of buckle laterally to alleviate stress, and the spinal cord can kind of ride that edge, and it alleviates buckling pressure or tethering pressure on the spinal cord. And so it actually has to be there. Now, with this, it always goes to the right, by the way. The heart's over here on the left, so we almost, I've never seen a left thoracic. I've seen some left lumbar, but it almost always called a dextro-levo scoliosis, where it goes to the right over here and then it goes left. So on the right side, we call this the high side of the rainbow. It looks like on the high side, and I have a scoliosis, like I was saying, mine's about 19 degrees, and the area that you pointed to is an area that I am constantly managing, and the pain is coming from joint. That's the knuckles. So the joints on the left side are compressed, so they're not going to be filled with fluid, but the joints on the other side are going to be swollen because they're spaced open. Essentially, when you tilt to the left, the joints on the right side get separated, they get swollen. When the joint gets swollen, the nerve gets irritated, the muscles are actually trying to stabilize. So if you can kind of see on this joint, they look like handshakes. That little surface glides over that surface, if you can see that, right? So when I think of it the best as a handshake, so when we're overlapping, we have a lot of power and there's a lot of strength. But if I start to separate, we're gonna have to use more muscles to hold on to each other. Do you understand? Because our surface area contact has lessened. So on the right side of that scoliosis, because the joint is separated, there's a rubber band in here that's under stress, inflammation, muscles that are getting tight. So ultimately, you can be adjusted. And I think you said you've been through some adjustments, and it's probably doesn't last very long because
Yeah.
I
I
asked,
feel like I could go back every single day and need it again.
to some degree, with our scoliosis spines, we're going to need some level of care more than a non-scoliotic spine, but there are some things I can show you, especially at the end of the visit, involving stretching. So the chiropractic biophysics guys, these are the guys that have studied posture, how we change posture. It involves laying on our sides. This is in the lumbar, so it would be on the other side. It'd be you do this on the left. So it's like this. You put this guy, right? We'd be bending it over on the right side of your thoracic cage, then we'd be putting on the left, on the opposite side on the lumbar. And we'll give that a shot at the end.
Okay.
But that's going to help you deal with that local pain. You also indicated that you had some numbness. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I feel like the upper right back area, I have less sensation there.
On that,
Like
right
the-
over that area.
Not that I mean, I guess, I don't know how I first figured that I might have that, but if I use like a back scratcher or something, like I have less sensation.
In between the shoulder blades in there. Or-
Yeah, to the right of the spine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my area. This is the peak of the rainbow. So because it's going over the right-hand side,
Yeah.
this area is under a lot of inflammation. The nerves are traveling. So out of the spinal column, the nerves travel through this tissue, and so they're going to get irritated, choked, inflamed by that pressure. I doubt very heavily that there's any disc injury. Very, very commonly when someone's dealing with that down the leg, we're dealing with a disc hitting a nerve. I don't typically see that very often with a scoliosis. I find it more often in the lower back, the lower neck. An MRI would need to be taken to see if the discs are in trouble.
Okay.
The health of the disc comes from it not being compressed all the time. So as a, if you're working desk work or, looking down a lot, that posture puts a lot of pressure on the disc, and that can injure the disc, eventually leading to the disc bulging out, hitting the nerve. I'm gonna just, like I said, go through your spine today. Let's go through, adjust it, clean it, see how your body responds, and then we're gonna actually, at the end, we're gonna test out, I love it, but the longer it's been there and the longer it's not been stretched, we wanna incrementally start going into it. I call it feeding a scoliosis. So mine is about 19 degrees, let's say something like that. I can absolutely feed it and make it larger than it would need to be. And so I find scoliosis many times, I try to bring it down to what I call baseline, which means there's a level of lateral curve that has to be there based on what I was saying earlier about the spinal cord and the spinal column, but it can be made larger than it needs to be. And so that can further exacerbate the symptoms of numbness or pain and tightness.
Also, my feet, I do notice tingling in my feet. It's not painful at all. I would say it's medium to
How long has that
mild.
been going on, do you think?
Probably, I don't even know, years, but
Where on the feet? Both feet?
I think the bottoms of my feet.
Bottom of both feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
About equally.
All right, and you've told that to chiropractors, nobody's taken an MRI of your lower back, nobody's wanted to take a picture of that? Not really.
I don't know if I've told my chiropractor that.
Okay. So when we're dealing with numbness in the bottom of the foot, we're dealing with 99% of the time we have a disc injury. That think of the disc like the enamel on your teeth. It doesn't have any feeling, and we can damage it without any awareness of it. And when that structure gets damaged, it starts to put pressure on the structures that do have feeling, like these nerves coming out the side. And when these nerves start to get hit, you're going to start getting numbness on the bottom of the foot. When you hit this nerve, it doesn't just cause, problems with the foot. It's also going to create organ problems. And I noticed you put some things on here about some organ issues, and I don't find that coincidental, that the organ issues and the leg issues are the same thing. If you have numbness to your leg, you also have numbness to your colon, or you have numbness to another part of your body. And so the function of your organs is dependent on these nerves also, because when this model, if it kept going, this nerve bifurcates around here. It actually goes into two branches. One branch goes to your muscles and your skin, and the other branch goes to an organ. So because it gets pinched before it bifurcates, both branches are affected. So curve can't be created or destroyed, and sometimes curve will go into scoliosis because you lose. So we lose this curve, and it goes into a lateral curve. Does that make sense? So part of restoring your neck curve is taking it out of this area, right? So we're going to try to reduce this and actually put it back in your neck, because a lot of the tension, inflammation, ringing in the ears, jaw, these are all, they're not coincidental. These are connected to the health of your neck. But if there's not much curve in your neck, the fact that you say it's uncomfortable for my neck to be curved, many times that happens because there's injury to the joints, the tissue in the backside of the spine that has a lot of feeling. And so it's like, oh, now I don't like it. So somebody needs to go through and clean this tissue so that we can actually start to go into it and then stay there and stretch your neck back to being curved.
I have really limited mobility this way.
Yeah, so
More so on this side, like I can't tip my head very far.
So part of that is a scoliosis. So if I'm going to exaggerate a little bit, but because it goes on the right side over here, essentially this is what we like to do. Does that make sense? Our head follows that scoliosis. So that right bend, our head wants to go left. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're already in left lateral bending. We're really good at it.
Yeah.
Right? We're not good at right lateral bending because that pushes the scoliosis. That's connected with your back. And so it's first about freeing up your spine, making sure the whole spine works, and so we don't pinch anything. When we tilt and bend, so for instance, when I bend forward, that hole gets bigger, right? When I bend back, it gets smaller. When I bend to the side I bend to, it gets smaller. So if I bend the spine to the left, the hole on the right gets bigger, right? So mechanics, this is what we call chiropractic biophysics, the mechanics of your spine have the ability to affect the size of that hole, pain. Take a deep breath in for me. We'll sit up for me. And then let all the air out. Exhale. There we go. Deep breath in for me. Let all the air out. Very good. Deep breath in for me. And then exhale. Let it all go. Good. Stay there. Hands around your belly. All right, take a deep breath in for me. Exhale. I got you. You're okay. Breathe in deep. Exhale. All right, other side for me. Good. Exhale. Just see it. So face up for me. It's okay. Face up. We're checking the SI joint. The purpose of that side posture is to make sure the joint below your lower back is moving. So the segments right above your sacrum are the ones that cause that numbness in your foot. Like for instance, your right hip was moving, the left hip was pretty tight, and you think the numbness is even on both feet?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Like right now, I guess maybe possibly the right foot's a little more tingly, but.
So when your head's straight to your torso, feel this is a big bump here on the right side. This is again part of the scoliosis. That extension of the thoracic right curve creates a left head tilt, which makes the bones all pop out on the right. This is going to be something that we have to not only get your neck loose, but also stretch and kind of push that right curve in if we want to attempt to reduce this. Real easy. It's okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. You okay?
Good.
All right. I got you. There we go. Yeah. Okay. This area is going to be kind of like a pocket that needs to be worked on, and I don't believe that a scoliosis has been here this long can be completely removed, or at the very least the conversation should be to try to figure out where baseline is. How do we know we've reached baseline? Well, usually if you try to keep straightening a structural scoliosis too much, eventually you start getting headaches a lot.
Oh, really?
Because the brain starts to get pulled into the neck. We call that spinal cord tethering, and so that's kind of I guess the first indication that we can't go any farther. I tested this on myself. When I try to straighten my curve too much, I get my neck and that spinal cord tethering. They shown with people with MRIs that have had their spines operated on and straightened their scoliosis, that the brain's actually tethered and pulled into their neck.
Wow.
Not a good place to be.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be trying to just straighten structural scoliosis. Our spinal column is too long relative to our spinal cord. So essentially it needs to be there. You're saying some semblance of it needs to be there, but with it we need to understand that the joints in your spine are going to be upset because of that lateral bending.
Definitely feel it.
Mm-hmm. These are the roots of the neck down here. These are just the other end of the same muscles that attach on the occiput. So the ears drain, the drain lines, the lymphatic drain lines that drain your head, skull, ears, all drain through here. So when you have tension in your neck, it's going to affect the, like I said, the drain lines, and then that affects and inflames the organs. Sinus issues, jaw issues, ear issues, they're all on the same circuit.
That makes sense.
So we show you the curve. I got you. It's okay. Head back. I know. Gonna feel a little awkward. This is where your neck belongs. We want to,
Don't feel natural.
doesn't feel good, I know. So they make a retainer that I'll show you at the end of the visit that holds you in a, similar to this. It emulates my hand. The goal is to be worked on to the point where it isn't, excruciating or very, so you can hold this for actually 20 minutes. You have to actually stretch this position for 20 minutes to get your body to want to stay here. Have you had anything like gouache before? No, not so much this.
No, I actually, because of watching the videos, I tried to find somebody in my area who did that, and I couldn't, but I did find a chiropractor who does cupping, so I've had some cupping done over the last several months, but it's hard to do your neck.
Yeah, no,
more,
I can tell that nobody's done this before.
Is it pretty red?
Just from that. That was extremely mild.
Yeah.
It is very, very red there. Very quickly, and it's the stagnation, kind of dead blood that gets trapped in these tight areas that inflames the tissue. This mobilizes it, gets it out of there, gets it away from the nerves. I'm going pretty gentle, right? I'm not going hard. It comes out real dark, even with just light pressure here. These are just soft. These are like vacuuming. I'm just vacuuming. It doesn't keep people from taking their shoes off at the front door. You want to first train people to take their shoes off the front door so you don't keep tracking mud in, but you can vacuum and sweep and clean, but the curve in your neck will make the need to do this less. The more arch that's in your neck, the less tension that will be here, the less need for this, right? So you're saying I should get gouache out every day? No. I'm saying you should stretch your curve back into your neck so you don't need to be adjusted that often, so you don't need to be gouache, you don't need to be cupped. And there are tools that I can try to show you that you can use to, brush your own teeth kind of idea. And you shouldn't have to have constant, every other day chiropractic care. It's not really what the goal of this is. I want to equip my patients with tools. When it gets this built up, sometimes you need help to get through the forest.
I'm sure.
Okay. But yeah, this is. The goal is I work on 80 or 90-year-olds. There is no level of normal soreness. There is no level of apprehension that should be in here. You should be able to handle quite a bit of pressure, you understand, and still be able to breathe through it, right? The restriction and tightness in here makes it feel like I'm pushing really hard because a rock's meeting a hard place, where my hard elbow is meeting the stiffness in your back. Now, if your back complied and was loose, well, then you wouldn't have numbness in the bottom of your feet. The tightness in your middle back allows the lower back to overstress. So we have to mechanically divert stress away from your lower back. There we go, you're fine. Get it off the lower back. There we go. For every overworked area, there has to be an underworked, kind of a yin yang. So my job is to find all the, underworked areas. The Thompson drop piece, I don't know. I don't, they're trying to realign the hips. But the crookedness happens as an effect of the nerve pressure. It's not the cause of the nerve pressure. We need to unlock all this. This is all the high side over here. To some degree, we're going to need some level of care in here. Maybe once a week massage in here on the right. You understand? This will need some level of care because of the position it's in. I believe that if we can make the stretching workable, that your need for that will go down dramatically. And that's how we can, take care of you long term. But yeah, there's quite a bit of tension in here. It doesn't surprise me that the nerves are irritated. I would suspect there's going to be a pretty good gua sha mark right here. I feel quite a lot of restriction in here.
I just recently started using a roller ball, foam roller thing. And just to roll like face up.
Yes.
I can't go too low in my back because I just can't hold.
Work the chest area. Yeah,
but I
that's good.
do, like the mid and upper back.
Good, good.
I can do it like 3 times a day, or I could do it every hour, I'm sure, and still hear cracking happening. But
We want to get to
it
20
does
minutes.
help a little.
The goal is 20 minutes total. Eventually your head touches the ground. It's not to say that 2 minutes is bad or 5 minutes is bad, but we want to actually get it into being a stretch versus so much an active exercise, meaning you're holding the position for a longer period of time. But yeah, it's a great
That's
way.
interesting. I actually don't, I do it probably for like a minute because
I understand.
I know that I'm just gonna need it again in an hour after sitting at my computer.
Right. Anytime you're approaching 20 minutes in any position, you're changing your posture. So if you sit for over 20 minutes, you've just changed where center is slightly more forward. To counteract that, we have to counter stretch you and then hold you in the opposite position for 20 minutes also. That's not to say that 1 minute or 2 minutes is not beneficial, but your posture isn't going to change, right? So where your alignment can't change with just doing a 1 minute. Now, many times patients will start off at 1 minute and we, over a period of a month or two, work your way to 20 minutes. But this, when I show you a picture of your back in a minute, you're going to see all the reasons back here that you're desiring to clean.
Yeah.
This is all of this is just inflammation that's been trapped in here.
Ow.
Sorry, I know. Maybe use hands. So there's not been any soft tissue work up here, obviously? Nobody's
No,
done?
I mean, I've had massages in the past, but
Okay.
not consistently.
Okay. I use the soft tissue work as a way to, make the tissue not, so you can hold a stretch for longer. When the tissue is this inflamed, you're not going to be able to stay on it for more than a minute or two.
Mhm.
We've got to dramatically change, the composition of the tissue to a point where it's not so acidic, inflamed. This is where I yearn to be worked on myself, right in here on the right. This is, I don't know how long, like I said, you're going to need to have some level of, more than any other area right here on the right is going to need to be worked on. I think when we stretch more and more, you won't need it as often, but you're doing great though, you're doing great.
Yeah, I do this like a 30-minute yoga routine
Mhm.
sometimes, and I can tell the difference from the right to the left, leaning
100%.
side to side.
I'm with you 100%. So when you're doing a yoga class, I wouldn't go any farther on your good side than you can on your bad side,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So but I can make a really beautiful left half moon, but I suck at right half moon, right? Well, then you can't go beautiful left half moon anymore. Do you understand?
Okay.
Because you're further imbalancing your spine.
Yeah.
You only go as deep to your easy side as you can on your bad side, right?
Yeah.
And I'd almost want to do like an extra rep to the right? So if you did like 2 each way, then I'd do like 1 extra one before you
Mhm.
finish into Savasana, you go into a right, because you really want to spend more time and more effort confronting the weak side, the side that doesn't want to be compressed. Otherwise, you can get into a problem where you're further imbalancing your spine, because the side that's loose will get looser than the side that's stiff,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, that makes sense. I
So
would never
even though
thought
you're
of
doing
that.
this thing that's good for your body, it's like, well, if you're doing it evenly, you're probably not doing it evenly, because you're actually, the side that's loose is getting looser at a higher accelerated rate than the stiffer side is going to get loose. It's a pretty significant amount of, lactic acid inflammation. The mobility of the joints wash the tissue, right? So when you have, that's why when I rub there, you're going, whoa, a lot. There's a reflex. Yeah, this is what's causing all those reflexes. This is all, inflammation that's trapped in there. We want to teach you how to do things. Like I said, the roller is a great scanning tool, but we got to do it for longer, or at least work our way to doing it. This is what they're trying to use the Thompson drop table on. I find it better to, I want to be careful to not upset L5, right? So we want to loosen this joint here without loosening L5. And it's just when we use the drop table, I feel like the specificity goes down a little bit, right? Kind of the force goes sometimes where we don't want it to go. I want to be careful, especially, you have numbness in the bottom of your foot. Let's not do anything to upset L5.
Ooh, that's more sensitive.
Right in there. This is what they're trying to adjust when you're doing the Thompson. We're trying to loosen this joint. There's a largest joint in the body right here, and it's necessary for this joint to be working optimally for the health of your lower back. So when this joint gets stiff, sitting stiff in this joint, the lower back gets overstressed.
It tickles.
That's common. You're like, that's really too much.
I feel like pizza dough.
Mhm. Okay, I got you. I know. Okay. I know it's the toughest area right there. I get it. A car nut, and there's something called an impact gun. You know, the impact is, you know, applying a torque on the bolt, but then it gives it like a little bit of a jolt. Makes sense? It's like, so that's what the adjustment is. It's like you hold, and a little thrust is like the impact gun. You're trying to break loose that coefficient of static friction to get the bolt to start turning in the same way the vertebrae need to be moving. Any car mechanics out there will go, oh, I got it. Now I understand the thrust. It's like my impact gun. Everybody's ears, no ears have come off yet. I got you. Go ahead and tilt your head to the right for me a little bit. Tilt right. Okay, it's okay. Go
I'll be
easy.
so let down if my ears don't.
Oh, we'll get
do
it.
that.
Tilt to the right.
Oh.
Yay!
It worked.
That's a good one.
There we go.
Tilt to the left.
1 second to keep your head straight.
Oh.
And then 1 second. Okay, go ahead and tilt now. Okay, from the bottom to the top one. Okay. Go ahead and tilt to the right, left. Nothing there. Okay. Pretty good. You see here.
I want the works.
Okay. It is straight traction. Need the joints in the hand. They just. Here. Okay, nice.
Yesterday I hit this elbow really hard on that bone right there, so
On this
it's
table?
fine now, but I'm wondering if I.
A little bit.
No.
Start right over that numb area. Right, and there's a belly flash, everybody. So the idea is to actually stretch to the right. I almost take this left wrist and I pull. You want to feel a stretch all along the left side of your body. And eventually that block won't even need to be there, and you're actually deeply stretching to the right. You're going to feel a strong desire to round forward, to round and curl forward on it. You want to kind of stay over to the right side and actually on the back side.
Okay.
So it'll be more difficult here. It's to make it doable, we're going to put the blocks behind your head to make it not so excruciating, but this isn't fun. I don't particularly, you get normalized to it and it gets easier the more you do it. I do like to kind of rotate a little bit. I do, but it's uncomfortable. It hurts on the right side is going to hurt. It's going to feel so good when you get off, but I feel more just some pressure on the right side. I don't feel pain anymore, but there used to be more pain on the right when I did this.
Okay.
So on the left side, we're going to go the left lower. It's going to be right above your iliac crest. Does that make sense? And then sometimes another way you can do it is you actually have your legs straight. You actually can kind of pump it. Looks like those 80s workout videos, And 1, and a 2, and 3. Anyway, so you can. They say about a set of 10 times. You're kind of trying to work it into the left side here. I know.
It just feels like it's hitting that one spot.
On the right side, yeah. You got to work it.
Ow. I mean, I can't even relax down onto it so I feel like I'm tensing, if anything.
We might be too early for this. It's
Yeah.
You want to be prepped.
I'm trying to relax, I can't. Right spot?
Same kind of spot, right? We're trying to hit that, yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
She's like,
This is
it
not
feels
better.
Yeah. We might start with just, see how the right side's higher here? See how this arm's higher on the right? It's because that right shoulder's more
yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
You want to stretch and work all these angles. So you might have them to the side like that, but you want to work all these angles in your shoulders coming back, and actually using your left arm to assist your right arm, so you would, make sense? And you're trying to bring this right arm back. You can kind of emulate the side a little bit by rotating your knees, so you bring your knees to the right. And that kind of,
Yeah.
I know, yeah, that kind of emulates laying on your side a little bit. There you go, and then bring your knees left.
I think I actually
Good.
heard something crack.
Good, yeah, it's good. No, you want to do this yourself at home.
Yeah, I can go a lot farther this way.
Correct, yeah. So I want you working on that right side.
Oh, that's right.
That compresses that right side that needs to be compressed. The bent spine actually gets, when you pull it from both ends and it pulls it straight. Again, our spinal cords aren't long enough, so you're going to reach a point in rabbit where it's going to start causing headaches. If you're going too deep in it,
Too much.
I do. Like for 8 hours, I'll have a headache really bad when I'm like, no more flexion. But it's trying to figure out where that baseline is. Mine's about 19 degrees. I don't know. We would know it pretty quickly. You know, it wouldn't just be that pressure pain. You'd actually start getting, I'm getting a headache here, Ed, laying on this. Got to back off. And but there's that joint. You can get a lot of benefit just by getting your spine adjusted and massaged, getting that bruising out. It's going to be, a couple days that bruising will go away. But if we don't work towards these type of stretches, it gets depressing. It's back again, Ed, and this will make it so you maybe only need to be worked on every other week or every once a month. Your need for care will go down versus I got to get worked on 2-3 times a week. Whatever you want to do. I'm just saying that's the goal with why we're bringing this into it.
That's good.
Feels good?
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't hurt.
Wonderful. You did great. Thank you so much. Thanks for dropping in. Thank you.
Very much.